Hi there, Matt here. I'm going to show you today how to combine some JSON coding. What you'll find in your automations from time to time, you'll have to combine some JSON coding. So there will be some sort of knowledge of coding. However, I'm going to show you how to simplify that and to make it very easy. And I'm going to step you through the process in doing so and show you some examples. So on my screen, I'm going to show you how to create something like this, combine it all in this fashion. And that's derived from the likes of these modules over here. So instead of having individual JSON codes for each updated module, so on the left hand screen, you'll see update type, service option, current step, value, and status. So we're going to combine some of these items into one JSON script like this. I'm going to show you the reason why. I want to cast your eyes towards our CRM system, and what we're going to achieve here, we're going to update some of these fields via automation. In the example, we're going to be forcing the automation change to occur. But in real life, obviously, all these modules would be occurring sequentially. They wouldn't be doing one at a time, relying on human input. So we're going to do value, service type, service option, and status. And I'm going to show you an issue I encountered with this software that doesn't allow for sequential updating of inputs via automation. So I've had to combine those into the likes of this, the left hand side. So what is all these things relating to? The very high end overview, we're looking at an automation related to creating a proposal. And as I scroll down, these are all the things that's going to be automated. All these different things is going to put in inquiry dates, proposal names, update statuses, update project management software, update databases, and the like. And also it's going to, as a separate automation, it's going to trigger a separate third-party automation software that's going to handle our automation as far as following up goes, following up with a prospect and client. So what does that look like at the front end? So the front end, we have a project here, and the test project is this one here. So test 1 Main Street, Maintown, Vic 3030, and the client is me test. So we're going to look at this value. So we go over here. We're going to show you what happens when our automation updates this value. So if we click on this value, we're going to send it. We're going to send this value being 0, to here. And I have to change the value. I'm just going to change it to 100 so you can see that it does change from 100 to our required 0. So after these columns, it's going to be 0. So let's see what happens. Save and send. Sending. So something's happened. Now, if you look on the left-hand screen, you will notice that value has changed. Now let's repeat that for another value. I'm going to show you the issue shortly. So what we're going to do now, we're going to update the service type. And we're going to see something populate in this column here. What's going to populate is this, TDS_residential. Let's just do that now. Saving, sending. So another example I'm going to show you what's happening at the front end, we're going to, via automation, we're going to change that status. So that relates to this module number 8 here. So if I click on that module, the status is going to populate to, it's going to be potential. It won't be lead. So there's an ID here, and I know that ID refers to potential, and I'll show you quickly where I've got that from. And it all comes back to creating a single source of truth database, and I like to use Airtable, so I'll show you where that is found. So this is the Airtable database. This is part of it, and this is the reason why you need to have a database to help you with all your automations. Something that's always referring back to. Some people use Google Sheets. I like to use something a bit more flexible and comprehensive as far as Airtable goes. So as you can see, we have some pre-populated. We've had to code all this. This is where all the backend comes in. So if you look at potential, if you recall LR7WFP, you'll see that looks familiar to what we just had before. That is the same as that one there. And it's referring to module 42. So I'll quickly go to module 42 to quickly show what's happening there. So what it's doing is in module 42, it's referring to the result in 41, the previous one. So this is where it's important to put a constant value in your automation, depending on what is a constant input that's going to be used within the automation. So in this case, the status, I'll save and send, that'll update. Now creditor, if you go down to 42, 42 value should reflect this because it's mapped together. 42 is now creditor. So if we go down to what we're looking at, all the way down here, and look at the stage section. Now if you look at module 8, where we were, the ID has updated to XZM. If you recall, we did change it to creditor. So again, creditor in Plutio is the same code. So you get an idea what's happening there. But the issue being, this automation is going to be flowing in this direction when it gets this part of the automation. There's a lot of modules prior to this. I'm just highlighting the issue and how to overcome the issue. If you look at this one here, if we rely on the automation going through this whole sequence and updating as we wish, starting at say value, service type, status, it's not going to stay there for whatever reason. So I've had to come up with a solution. So I'll show you what happens currently. If I click on value, change that to 100. So on the left hand side, I change the value to 100. If I click on save and send, it should now update to a 0. You'll see that change. And we did do this test earlier, but I'm showing you what happens when we use the whole sequence. As you can see, it's updated to 0 on the left-hand screen. So what's the next thing in our automation? If you look on the left-hand screen, what I've placed under service type is other. So that's going to be changed via this automation. If you go to service type, we're going to send this data to our CRM and update service type. So we're going to the service type, the ID KZX9, it's going to change our service type. And I'll do it the other way around just to sort of reinforce learning. So instead of showing you what that code refers to, I'm going to show that after the fact. So looking at left-hand screen, we can see it successfully sent through information. There's a lot more data it has sent through. As you can see, it's now changed to TBC. So why did it send TBC? Again, showing the importance and the power of having a database. So again, this is Airtable. As you can see, there's a lot happening here. We're going to do a search for that code, KZX9. KZX9. As you can see, it's down here. So it's actually, the automation has done a lookup function, and it's returned that value of being TBC. So we'll keep on working through this. I'm going to show the error in a minute. You just watch what happens if you may have seen the error already. I'm going to change this to 0, what it was. And now I'm going to change the service option. And to do so, I'll have to quickly create service option down here. I'm only doing this so the example is going to be better for you. So I'm just going to clone this module. So I'm going to make sure it's all in order. So we have value, service type, service option. So after service type, there should be service option here. Service type, clone, rename, service option. Again, we need to change all this. So I've just had to create this service option on the fly. I'm going to quickly, and I'm just going to do this as quick as I can. Looking for Plugo service option. Not that one. This one. There you go, save and send. That has worked. So I'll show what happens if we relied on the automation, updating all this sequentially. Value first, service type, service option, status, and current step. So value, there's currently no value over here. There's 0 value. So I'm going to force this. You'll notice when I click on this, it's going to update to a value. That value will be 0. Showing there 0, the map data is 0, this is 0. If I go service type, I'll show what happens as we do it, and then you might be able to work out why I've had to combine all this together. So the next one, service type, something will be inputted here via this automation here. We showed how we mapped that information, what it relates to. It maps to a main database, being Airtable. We're going to force this. We're looking at the next field, TBC. See if you can work out what the issue is. Yeah. We're going to go to service option. Going to update that. We're looking at the next one, service option, TBC. That has done. Second last is status. There's one more to come after that. Status, currently it's lead. Let's see what it updates to. It's updated to creditor. current step is currently blank. Current step is shown here. Currently it's blank. Let's see what this automation is going to update that to. There. So did you see what the issue was? I'll explain. Ideally, we want all these inputs to be populated and remain there. It's no good if it updates and then every time the second customize field input is inputted, the previous one is deleted. So what we're going to do, we're going to combine all these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into something like this to overcome that issue. So instead of having this sequentially update and affect the front end of our CRM system, we're going to make sure there's only one task occurring and it populates all these in one go. Instead of one of these occurring, we're going to combine it into one. So how do we do that? I'm going to copy we're going to use ChatGPT to help us achieve something like this. We're going to copy all these JSON scripts, put it into ChatGPT to assist with the structure, because you can easily get all this wrong and you'll be racking your head. You're getting so frustrated if something simple as a comma is out of place. It just won't work. So we're going to open up ChatGPT and we're going to copy all the individual scripts into it. That one. That one. That one. That one. And that one. I have to give it a prompt. So let's just write combine these scripts into one. Something as simple as that. Also need to learn how to spell. So the next one there, I'm going to copy the first one. We're looking at value. And copy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Current step is in the way there, so 5. So we start at value. Copy this. Copy. Go here. 1. Ignore that it doesn't look right at the moment. Service type. Paste. Service option. Copy it. Paste. Actually a new line. So I just shift enter. Then paste. Stage. Copy. Shift enter. Paste. Last one. So I should make it known ChatGPT will assist us greatly with this, save us a lot of time, but it's not going to do all the work for us. So we're going to hit enter, see what happens. As you can see, it's changed all this gobbledygook, all this into something clean, a clean script. So remember we wanted 5 custom fields, scripts. to be inputted into one. So it's done that. Let's just count how many things are happening. So we've got 1. So this is just showing you what's happening or what it has achieved. This combines all the fields into one script, keeping each entry intact under the same ID. The ID is the project ID. So this one here is just referencing the same project. This is the project, and all these different things are going to happen. So I've got value, value, service type, service type, service option, service option. Status is down here, different structure, status, and current step is there. Scroll across, current step is the last one. So we're going to copy that entire script. Going to clone this because this module is related to the right API request. I won't go into too much detail, but looking at the developer API documentation, this is where I get it all from as a basis, but it can get very confusing and very complex very quickly. So we save time by copying our previously hard work, delete that, copy ChatGPT script in entirety there. We're going to rename this to what it's actually doing. Update project. So instead of current, we're just going to do value, service type, service option. Not a very good typer. Status and current step. So this is a moment of truth. Right now it's an improvement, but it's not perfect, and you may see some issues why, but let's just test it to see what happens. So ideally what we want to see, by clicking this save and send, we want all these to automatically update and not have any of these deleted. So by clicking this, what we want to see is all those 5 fields update in one without deleting any. So let's see what happens. This is the moment of truth to see how good the ChatGPT assistance of a script is in helping us with creating complex JSONs, combining JSONs to help us with our automation. So save and send. Let's keep an eye on the left-hand side. ID has an invalid entry. So now we're debugging this case here. It didn't work, but let's just save and send. I believe I can see a potential issue. So as it stands, ChatGPT is assisted with the structure. So what's happened now? So ChatGPT is assisted with the structure, but still it won't completely work. So we have a little bit of work to do. We actually want to try and make our script look something like this. There's going to be issues. So when it's mapped information, it's going to be this white dynamic map fields. It's not going to map 8 dot results. It's anything after the column, so A3CK. Whereas this one here, and these is going to return everything within those commas, or as opposed to over here. So everything in these commas, it's going to return verbatim, so 15 dot results. But we don't want that. We only want it to reference whatever's after the column. So it may not make sense, but if you bear with me, I'll show you what I mean. So what we need to do now, on the right hand side, our exercise being, we need to, it's return the right value that we want. So we need to pay attention to what module number it is. So I'm simply going to delete that, click down here, search, we want 15, and we input that one. Okay, that one's done. So now, instead of returning 15.results or look for the project which is 15.results, it's going to return the project that is ESR such and such. So now we go over here. So we be mindful, the module is 52 and we want to find this one here, YAJ. So copy that, going to highlight this, search 52, input, done. Now we go to this one here. So we're looking for module 40 when we try to map it down here. And we're looking for result 0. So what I do, highlight that. Go to 40. 0. Done. Now we're going to go to this one. 38. That one. I'll copy that first. Copy. Everything between the commas. 38, that one. So it has to be that one. Okay, now this is where we need a keen eye. So next one. So you can work out which one it is. So N, this one, copy. Highlight all that. Highlight. So 38, so it's this one. Now you go to 44. It's this one. Therefore we need this, copy. Highlight all that because we're replacing this. 44. Click on there. And last one, status. We're looking for this. There. 42. This one. Okay, save it. Now let's save and send. Let's see what happens here. So what we have done, ChatGPT has provided structure in its raw form, and now we have mapped it in our automation. It took a little bit of time. However, the hardest part people have is getting the right structure. Mapping is easier, but it's not easy. So let's just see if what we have done by mapping it. So we're looking at value, service type, service option, status, current step. All these are going to update all at once by clicking this input once. So here's the moment of truth. We have mapped the information. So let's see what happens when we click on save and send. Bingo. It worked. As you can see, successfully mapped, and all these have been inputted. So let's just go over what we've done. We've identified an issue, we've corrected it by using logic and ChatGPT to come up with the correct structure of the JSON. Then we had to map the information to create the correct dynamic script, which is this one, to update our CRM system. Because I'll just go over the issue and the solution. The issue is every time we update an individual custom field over here, it deletes all the other information on the other custom fields. And in this automation, we couldn't sequentially set out the modules to update custom fields individually because it just won't work in this software. So we had to combine all the individual scripts, this script, this one, and all the following into this, because if we sent show another example in closing. Again, individually sequential automation will delete previous information on our CRM system. So I'll show you what happens. I know when I click on this, all this other information will be deleted. The only thing that will remain will be the value. Click on that. All deleted. Whereas, so our solution, if combined, in this script here, we have combined all the previous modules, as I mentioned, these ones, to work correctly in the front end. So now, if I click on this module, module 11, all these things is going to update the value, service type, service option, current step, status, etc. in one go. So pay attention on the left hand side. See what happens. Click on that. There you have it. So now that we have completed the last module to combine all the previous steps into one script, that would mean that the previous individual modules are redundant. So we can delete those because they'll just be taking up unnecessary tasks in our automation. So we're going to take away, looking at, just make sure we're taking away the right things. We're going to be taking away the value, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 modules. That's value, service type, service option, status, and current step. They're all previous to this module. So we're going to value, so all these ones down, delete, 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 and delete. There you go. So hopefully that helped. There was it gets very technical. It is quite a expert sort of field to do this, but using the same concepts and principles, hopefully it will help you with your automations. Or if you need assistance, let us know. But again, any comments or feedback welcome. Again, if you found value, consider liking and subscribing. It means a lot to a small channel like mine, and it'll encourage me to send out more videos like this to assist others. So thanks again, Matt K. Cheers.